He has not changed at all.
Oh my.
Solomon.
Jacktown, here, there.
Jack, you're like.
Alex Dagley. Alex Fleischer. He looks even littler now. It's like the only picture that he's like different.
Are you wearing shoes or not?
No, because I was in Mississippi class.
Needed someone to be funny. He always cheered me up when I was down by making jokes. One time me and Will were in the car driving to the movies. He started pinching me, so he started a pinching war. The whole time I think Shane and Rhonda were getting a little annoyed with us because we were being so loud. But it was really funny. We used to always play on my PlayStation when he came over. We played a lot of Lego games at school. We played kickball together outside. I was better at him at first, then he got a lot better than me. And he could kick the ball way higher. We planned on riding our bikes together when we were older. I still will try to do that someday. He was the best friend I could ever have, and I will always miss him a lot.
My son David is a schoolmate of Will's, but they actually never had a class together, so they didn't become, good friends. But we met Rhonda and Will in 4th grade at the Jersey Jam, right? And we went to Goodale and had quite an experience. But that's another story. And then later, we're invited to a barbecue, and I got to meet Shane and Rhonda there, got to actually talk to them and see Will with all the boys and playing, and it was a wonderful day. It breaks my heart that I didn't get to know him more. I got to meet Shane also with our volunteer work at the Christmas store that you did, and so I got to meet him, but again, not Will. But what I just wanted to say was, Will brought me together with Rhonda. Our friendship started because of this horrible tragedy. And you're one of my very best friends. I love hearing his stories. I love the Superman t-shirt from Walmart. I love speeding around in the car. And I love every story you have to share with me. And I want you to know anytime. Please call me, please meet with me. I want to hear more about Will. I want to go and know him inside and out. That's all there is. So, this woman, in her tragedy, got me through a tragedy the same year. So, I just want to say that.
Nu är på mig ständigt speciellt börjar i Schweiz. Tack. Här papper. Åh.
Hey, Jody. We're trying to get people socializing in the gym.
You did that class already?
Dawson. Oh, yeah, he's long hair. Oh my.
Where am I?
Look at me.
Who is
Guys, we're
that?
so little.
Who's that?
Whoa.
What? I forgot the guy. Who is that?
I don't know who he is either.
Or is it
Solomon Best. Who's that?
I don't know.
He's the best foul. He kicks my
Look at Adam.
Look at me, I'm so handsome.
Oh, look at Dawson. Dawson switch. Dawson switch.
Oh my God, Adam.
Will's
That's
best.
ugly.
You can't do that.
I've wiped that off.
And I said, you want to see the music driving? Okay. Okay, right.
What is it?
I'm not sure. I just threw this out here to work from.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Good
Oh, okay.
There, I have a lot of things about Will that will always be in my heart, and things I see automatically put a memory of him in my head. But one that I can remember that is my memory that I go to if I'm having a bad day or if I'm not sure how I'm going to get through the day. I pull this memory in, and we had taken Will to Muskegon one summer to see Christopher Columbus's replicas of the Nina and Penta, and we got to walk through. And afterwards, we went swimming, and it was probably the best day I think I've ever had, because it was Will and I out in the water. And at that point, I felt like I was his best friend, and he was mine. And the way he looked at me with that smile and those eyes, and he made me feel like I was the only thing that he wanted at that time. And we laughed, and we rented this big inflatable whale. And I put him on it, and he'd bounce and float around, and then he'd say, "Okay, Mom, it's your turn," and I'd get on it, and of course I'd fall off. And here he was helping me. We've got all these kids out in the water, and they're all playing, and here he is with me, choosing to spend his time with me. And I've told him this many times, and I told him the last day that he was with us. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me. He's my dream come true, and the amount of time that I had with him was definitely the best time of my life, and I will always have him in my heart. And he's the last thing I think of when I go to sleep, and the first thing I think of when I wake up. I tell him good morning when I leave for work, and when I go to bed, I go to his room and I talk to him and I tell him good night. And so he's always with me, and that will never change. And one of the other memories is when he did get home from school, like Judy was saying, he really didn't want to talk about school. I would say, "How was your day?" because I would get home later, and no, it was okay. But it was that night when he would go to bed, he would look at me and say, "You want to talk about our day?" And I waited for him to say that every night. I hope that he would say that every night, because absolutely. And so we would lay there and we would start, and it would seriously start with, "Oh, I got up in the morning and I did this, and then I got breakfast and I went to work, and here's what I did at work." And then he would do the same thing, and it wasn't just a quick, "Oh, I went and I did this." It was very detailed, and maybe it was a way for him to stay up late. But I'll take it. He got away with it because he could get away with a lot. And but I miss him. I'm always gonna have him in my heart, so that's what I got.
Anyone else? Please. Please do.
So our little guy, Micah, is somewhere around here. It's an emotional day for me too. But anyway, he was in Will's, I think, first grade class. And as much as I love Hazlitt, I wish we could keep our kids together through the whole thing, because I think they fell apart a little bit, after Wiltshire, like going on Murphy. But they ran flag football together, I believe, one year. And although you weren't the coach, you were always there cheering them on. And we would run into you guys around town, and like everyone has said, those eyes and that smile. And we run into Rhonda, because all of our kids have horrible teeth. And and you guys are just such a bright spot in our community. And as much as Will's been living on in you guys, he's living on in us too.
Perfect. That's what we want.
When the boys played basketball and you were there cheering them on, that just meant a lot. And felt like Will was there. And he's always going to be here, so just know that we want you guys to still be part of everything that our boys are involved with. Just like Will's here, so sorry. I'm falling.
Anyone else? Okay, please. Yeah, anyone. Please go ahead.
At recess one day in third grade, I think, I was looking to try something new, and I tried kickball. I really wasn't the best at it, and I told Will that I probably wouldn't play the next day. He convinced me that I was good enough to play. And I came back the next day and I said, "Hi Will, how are you doing?" And he said, "I'm doing great." And I kept playing for that whole year after that, because he made me feel so good inside.
Hey everyone, I have stage fright, so.
You're doing great, Logan.
You can do it.
You look good. I remember playing kickball with Will at recess, and yeah, it was fun. We would always partner up and I remember playing baseball with them, and one thing I'll always remember is the best throw I ever threw in baseball was to Will. I'll always remember that, and I'll honor Will whenever I play kickball or baseball. That's what I always play.
Nice.
Anyone else? Well, again, my son is smiling right now. And the sun was bright today. Not only his personality, but a bright person. Can't thank everyone enough. But we have to move on because we have to get out of school. I could be up here forever and his mom too, but the next session, or the next we're going to do is my son is smiling now because everyone is here and we're talking about him, and he's found out because he'd always come home and say he didn't have any friends, but little did he know at the tree celebration all the kids that stood up and said memories like this girl here about things that he did and how much of a friend he was, and he didn't know. And I always told him, Will, probably everyone that goes into your grade is or wants to be your friend or is your friend. No, they're not. Yes. And that's evidence now. But, so my son is smiling now, but he's going to be doing cartwheels right here in a minute because as I said earlier, during this point of his life, he wanted to be a police officer and a SWAT member. So he's smiling, doing cartwheels down, aren't you, boy? But we have the presence of Meridian Township Police and Michigan State Police that are going to give a presentation for my son. So please welcome them.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Fringer. This is Chrissy Scacia. She's the air officer assigned to these schools. And this is Joe Thomas with the Lansing Post 11. And we're honored to be here. Will wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. I know I did. I haven't grown up, but I'm still getting there. But I am a police officer, and it is an honor for us to be here to present this to Will, and we basically, this is a certificate that he's an honorary police officer as of today, and we are grateful that we were invited to be here, and thank you very much for thinking of us. And Joe, do you have anything?
Thanks, Captain.
When speaking in public, you have to remember a couple things. Always never try to outdo the commander in front of you, okay? And especially when you live in his jurisdiction, because you always have to watch out for him. So you have to be careful around the captain here. But I'm the post commander for the Michigan State Police here in the Lansing area, and I did not know Will, okay? But Will had an opportunity to come to our academy a while back, and one of our sergeants had him out on the drive track, and they took him around in a patrol car, and there's a picture of him that we have that shows Will, and I can tell that he was a boy that was full of joy, okay? Because when you see that picture with him and the sergeant, there's just this biggest smile on his face from having been in that patrol car out there at the academy. Sergeant Shore couldn't be here today. He's transferred to Rockford, so he couldn't make it back this way. But as the commander for this area, I was asked to come and present this commendation from our 1st district, which comprises the 9 counties in this area around here. So on behalf of the Michigan State Police, I'd like to present you with this commendation. It says, Michigan State Police, in remembrance of Will Goodale. The Michigan State Police insignia is presented to the Goodale family in honor of your son, Will, February 1st, 2017. It's signed by our captain of the district and the inspector, who's the assistant for the district. So I'd like to present this to you, Rhonda and Shane.
He was small.
Go and they're finishing the. Yeah, it's really sweet. Here's from
We're
the
not
time he
usually
was
early,
born.
so this is very cool.
What?
January, my son Jackson was on the basketball team where Shane was the coach. The other kids that are here were on that team that year too. Yep. There you are. Yeah. That was a really fun year, and I got to know the Goodales through basketball. So I wrote this yesterday, so mine's a little off topic, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't do off the fly. All right. So I said, had been thinking a lot about this. And Shane and Rhonda have been very kind to let me into their inner circle and really be a part of this grieving process. So it means a lot to me to be here today. So when something terrible happens, we often try to rationalize it. However, when a child is lost, there's no rational explanation. Saying something like, things happen for reasons, it just doesn't make sense. There's no reason. So for me, why am I the only one crying?
You're not.
So for me, as Shane and Rhonda's friends, all I can do is never forget him. I'm keeping my favorite memories of Will close to my heart. I will always keep his memory alive, and when I remember Will's clever sense of humor that he got from Shane, and his quiet good-heartedness that he got from Rhonda, I will remember Will. I will remember his fun spirit and his need for speed. Sorry, police officers. That golf cart, that was fast. You might want to go to Tiger. And whenever I see a Mustang, I'm going to remember how Will told me that this was the car he was going to get when he turned 16. And while he'll never get to drive that car, I will help keep his memory alive, and I will encourage you to keep talking about him and keep his memory in your heart too.
Oh, that's at night.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's iridescent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the sign was. Oh, yeah. I'll bet it is.
Me and Will were playing baseball, and I remember when he would hit, like, in practice, like, a bunch of home runs. And then in a game, he actually hit a home run, and I'm pretty sure it was a grand slam, too. So it was pretty awesome. And whenever he was up to bat, he tried his hardest, whatever he could, even if he got out. So, and he was always a really good friend. We used to play kickball a lot out on the baseball field, and he would always like kick it way farther than I could. But we still had fun. So.
CJ, kiss me, and Evan, Will, Mommy.
The couple, when he would come with his daddy. I don't need a mic. I have a very loud mouth. Can you all hear me? I know, this is, anyway, I met Shane coming into the Y one day, and we talked for a minute, and I literally said, how did you get in this chair? And he said, I was a stupid kid on a motorcycle. And I said, I'm so sorry, but we always talked back and forth. And then one day, there's this adorable little boy sitting on his lap, and it'll make me cry, but his eyes were so beautiful. He was such a gorgeous kid, and when you tell somebody your kid's got gorgeous eyes, I think they think you're just telling another, everybody says that kind of story, but he was a beautiful child. But what really set you apart from everybody else that I met coming in and out of there with children is the way he was on your lap. You talked to him. You could just see the bond in this. You were like Velcro, just Velcro. Mm-hmm. So my memory will always be of that boy on your lap and adoring his father and his mother. And you're very, 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 I thank you for inviting us to come to share this memory with all these wonderful people. Because this, and the children that got up and talked, you are amazing. I am very proud because it's very difficult when you're young to get up in front of a crowd of people. But when you get old like me, you learn you really don't care if you even, unless you just don't want to embarrass anybody. You can embarrass yourself, but nobody else.
His hair really changes. It looks like dark hair. She has red and then she just took the.
I never like got to meet Will that well. Like I never had really any memories of him, but I can tell. I can tell from this one picture that he was a really good kid. This never happened to me. Every time a bug was landing here, I don't want to land on me. No. So I can just tell he was a really good kid. I wish I could have known him better, but yeah. When I first heard the news, I cried a lot. He's like me. I don't usually cry that often, but it just got to me. So yeah.
It's okay.
I'm starting to cry right now. Seriously, it's hard. But yeah, that's all I really got to say. I wish I could know him better, but.
They're following you.
He was my best friend for a long, and still is. And trick-or-treating with him was awesome, because all that candy. Yeah. And then like playing baseball with him, he was a lot better than me and still probably is. Yeah. He was my best friend. That's all I'm gonna say.
Smile, Sage. Smile, man.
Now, so if you start, hey, how you doing? I was like, hey, hi.
How you doing, man?
You guys, Shane and Rhonda would like everybody to start heading on into the gym. Thank you.
I wanted to go next because I also met Will at the Y. I was a YMCA employee a couple of years ago before I got my teaching job. And I worked at Camp Hugabee for Will for 2 years. And that kid, I will never forget him, ever. And I actually just ran into them last November at the mall. And I asked them, how's Will doing? And they're like, they told me the news, and it choked me up because you just never forget a kid like that. And I have a couple of fond memories. One of them is, first of all, this kid had so much energy. Like, he could run laps around me, and I was still young, and he was so vibrant, he was friendly. I had my my goddaughter that came with me a few times to the Y, and Will was so friendly, he was loving, he just included everyone, even young. And I remember we were talking about plants. And we planted a sunflower in a little pot, and we watched it grow a little bit, and it was starting to outgrow the pot, and Will was like, let's plant it. I'm like, all right, let's plant it. So we go outside, and we plant it, and we took a little picture, and he just had so many ideas. And Rhonda actually reminded me of, I totally forgot about this, I was doing an experiment once with baking soda and vinegar for a volcano, and I had all the children around me, and Will was the only child in that entire group that was so participatory. He raised his hand, he wanted to share, he wanted to tell more about it. I would ask questions, he wanted to tell me more about volcanoes. He wanted to share his knowledge, and I believe he probably did that later on as well. But I just remember him being the type of student that I wish all of my students were like, So that was my memory of Will.
All the way around the school.
Okay, thank you.
My God.
What are you trying to be like?
I'm taller than these lockers, and I'm kind of
Good.
I was Will's principal, and I will tell you that when second graders start here, some second graders kind of hide, they're a little afraid of the principal and that kind of thing, but not Will. The very first day, I remember him coming right up to me and introducing himself and saying, "My name is Will," and to that day, every single day, he always greeted me. And I think that he knew how important that was, because I'm always talking to the kids about it's important to say hello and greet people. And so He also had quite a sense of right and wrong. And I will say, I had to call Shane a few times because we had a few little incidences on the playground. But it was really all about wanting to play by the rules and getting a little too overheated sometimes. But he was so passionate about playing outside and in his classrooms. The other thing that I always remember is lots of times at lunch I'll go in and sit down with the kids and I'll say, okay, what'd you learn today? Nothing. You've never heard that from your children, I'm sure, when they come home. But I would say, okay, so what are you reading about? And he could always tell me something that he was reading because he was such an avid reader. And then I also have a special surprise for you this evening. You have some relatives who couldn't make it, and they contacted me, or maybe some close friends, I'm not quite sure, but they asked me to read this to you tonight. Sadly, we are not able to attend tonight's celebration of Will's life. However, it does not diminish our love for him. No distance, time, or space can ever do that. In memory of Will and his love of reading, we would like Raleigh Elementary to accept this donation earmarked for the purchase of books at the school library. Will, we love you, your Johnson family. And they have made a donation of $300 in Will's name to our library. So I invite you to help us pick out some books for the library if you would like to do that. And we will put little nameplates in there and say that they're were donated in honor of Will.
Thank you. In other ways, when we first met, and it was right after your son was born. I was driving around looking for a bad person, and you helped me with that. And you introduced me to your son, who was just an infant then, and he was your miracle baby. And God bless you for having that time with him. We're again thankful that you invited us.
I'm a lucky man.
Right now, I think
This is why I keep saying my life story, because you don't have to learn the whole one together. Like you go to the side, you got me, then you take it away. Back up, tin can,
they jumped up and touched it. Yeah. Well, and there's the man of the hour. Hi, George.
Oh, that would be so funny.
The association.
Hi. Look at, is that right now, Tony? Yeah, I got it right, yeah.
Hi, Aiden. How are you? Good. My goodness, I think you got a little tongue right as well, didn't you? Probably. So, middle school?
Yeah, good. These lockers feel really small when you walk down the hallway. It's like they kind of felt bigger than you because ours were bigger. Yeah.
I like this one.
So I just like to go and walk around Marshall Park and play kickball and games there. And sometimes we would walk down to QD and get slushies and try and get as many cars as possible to honk and wave to us. I remember we got like a couple hundred honks one time. I was very excited. And another memory we had together was also Nick. We built a tree house and we made like this little cardboard tent thing up in the tree and like this camouflage thing that we just nailed to the tree. And it was raining and we just stayed out there for the wedding. It was very fun.
Yes. The boyfriend. See?
Taking a lot of money on that.
No, I haven't seen Shane yet, so I don't know.
No, we've done it, and if we've...
Cooley Law School, and his father, Shane, attended Cooley, and I worked at the front desk. And I remember the first time he came into Cooley, and he was on Shane's lap, and he had those eyes. Oh my goodness, he could they would just melt you. And we got to talking and struck up a conversation. I said, "Oh, they're training them early now, coming to law school." I said, and Will would come in with his dad all the time, and the staff at Cooley just loved him. I mean, he just stole the show. And then I always had treats for little Will when he would come in, and I'd say, I had Hershey almond candy bars, and I'd say, "Well, here's some candy bars I have for you." And I'd give him a couple of them. I said, "Now make sure when you get home, you share this with your dad and your mom." So I hope he was passing that candy on. Because he loved it.
I don't recall that.
And then one time, Will sent me a note, and in the note was a picture of him in it, and saying and telling me, it was "Merry Christmas, I love you." Just touched my heart. A picture of himself in there, and I mean, he was just he had a bright light. I mean, and he's going to be well missed, and he was well loved and thought of in Cooley.
Wow. You have a child down here around the corner.
Well, I'm at Shane's. I'm that dummy that always talks about the elephant in the room, so it's a good thing there's none here tonight. Who didn't cry here tonight? I know I did out in the hall. My memories of Will were, he didn't talk to me that much, so he was kind of quiet. I kind of like that in a kid sometimes. I know he talked when he was with his dad. He was on his dad's lap. That was like his, that was his happy place. And I always remember that. That was one of the things that my son and I always talked about, was how comfortable he was with you and that wheelchair. And that's the thing I remember the most. And I'll miss him.
So then, back that one.
I don't.
I remember the first time I met Will. We were both taking gymnastics at the YMCA. We played for hours even when our parents were there. And when it was time to go home, all I could think about was the next day. When Will was about to go through a journey that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, I wanted to do everything I could to help. All of us did, and still do. Although Will is not here, he will remain in our hearts forever.
Dreyfus, I'm a Meridian Township Clerk, and I had the good fortune of first meeting Shane and Will when Shane was running for Meridian Township Treasurer in 2012. So we had a chance to get to know each other. And one time when we were going, there was a campaigning going on, We ran into each other while it was very hot that summer. People may not remember in 2012, that was, we had some 90 and 100 degrees weather, and if you're going door to door, you're going to remember that. And Shane and his son were troopers out there knocking on doors, and Will would take some of the campaign literature and go up to doors as Shane is talking, and he would hand the literature and look a voter right in the eye and smile. And I'll tell you, not many kids or even adults can do that. And so he struck me as a unique person who believed in his father and had the ability, a unique ability to connect with people, even though I only had met him very briefly, but he made an indelible impression. And I really wished I would have maybe tried to take him away from police, get him to world politics. Really, that would be really something.
Right.
But I miss the guy too, so thank you very much.
I'll walk through. Then I'm waiting for Randy.
Rhonda had showed me pictures.
He was a redhead.
Luckily, I was an old guy and I kept the helmets. I hit 150 home runs in a season.
Ron Slater as the front. Got you kidding me.
And then the other good thing
Pull the big stand. Yeah, that's when we moved in. I moved June because he was only a couple weeks away.
What? What are you doing?
I bet she's not the only one.
We have 15 minutes. There's anything? You know, there's a lot we can all do, we can all say, but again, thanks to Principal Judy Tigrini for allowing this all to happen, and without her graces, we wouldn't be here tonight. And good idea. I don't know, most of you may know, may not know, Will liked Culver's. He liked going there, obviously, he went to the golf, right? But,
Shane, I think Corey liked when you would take Corey and Will to Culver's after
there
baseball.
you go. Right, yeah. Culver's have tremendously helped our family through this whole thing with Will, because he was in there and he was 9 and 10 years old, but he was already flirting with the girls. And then let me tell you how he did it. And I'm not going to say he's my son, but everyone knows that if you go and order something at Culver's, you get the receipt. If you fill out the survey about your visit for the day, you get a free 1 scoop of either vanilla ice cream or the flavor of the day. So when he was a little guy, when it was just me, his mom was at work, he would go in, I'd let him go in, and maybe that's why he was so bold and introduced himself to the principal, but I would let him go into Culver's, and initially he would come out with 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream. This is probably 7, 8 years old. And then, funny enough, 9, 10, he would go in with that same coupon, and he would always go to the female behind the counter. And he would come out. He would come out with either 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream. And he would have either M&Ms or Reese's. And I didn't send him in with any money. And then there's one girl that took a liking to him, and if she was there, Jamie, he would always go to her, and they would always talk, because again, I would sit outside, but they would always talk for a couple minutes, which is fine. And yeah, so Culver's has helped us tremendously. They have donated 75 cups or scoops of ice cream that's in the freezer or in the lunchroom. Can think of it, lunchroom. So please, everyone, grab one. Eat it in memory of Will. Will.
Corey will probably eat 2.
Well, 1 or 2. Well, then I'm here with you, buddy. This ice cream's for you, bud. This is your day.
Then I think we should all eat 3 and have the little goodies on top.
Well, so please, thank you all for coming. I was so worried about this event and getting everything together, and I think it turned out perfectly. So please, if you haven't grabbed one of his notices and a bracelet, they're available to everyone, and then grab an ice cream with a spoon and let him know that you're eating it for him. So please. Oh, and there's more Chicago's pizza, so if anyone... Oh, and there's slips, I guess, to take with you if you want Chicago pizza separate. So please, do this for my boy. Thank you.
And I was one of Will's early teachers. As I was going back over things to come and see you guys tonight, I found a journal from those early years, and then saw the report that you had out on the table. And one of the funny things is that many of the things that I had written about Will early on are that, well, we're finding that, we're bringing him back to his work a lot. We're refocusing him, bringing him back from his friends. And it's that inquisitive spirit. You guys have always brought him to that. And just an adventurous, exciting, smiley, fun little guy who loves people. And you too, kudos to you. So.
Oh, towards Murphy, right there at the curb. That's a bullfish. There's more down there.
Remember this one, he made this.
they made this